Before the pyramids of Egypt, before Stonehenge, there were vibrant civilizations right here in North America.
Imagine vast cities with earthen mounds reaching for the sky, like Cahokia, a bustling metropolis larger than London was at the time.
These weren't just simple villages.
They were centers of trade, culture, and spirituality, built by the ancestors of today's Native American nations. From the intricate canal systems of the Hohokam in the desert southwest, inspired by the brilliance of Mayan engineering, to the complex societies of the Mississippian culture, this land was a tapestry of innovation and tradition long before the first European ships appeared on the horizon.
These weren't just mounds of dirt. They were monuments to human ingenuity and deep spiritual connection to the land. Then, everything changed.
The arrival of Europeans wasn't a simple meeting of cultures. It was a collision that shattered worlds.
Diseases to which native peoples had no immunity swept through the continent, wiping out entire populations.
This was followed by a relentless push for land and resources, treaties made and broken, and a systematic effort to erase indigenous cultures. The Trail of Tears, the forced relocation of the Cherokee, Choctaw, and other nations, is a scar on the American story. A brutal march where thousands perished from starvation, disease, and exhaustion. This wasn't just a loss of land. It was a profound spiritual and cultural wound, the beginning of a long, dark chapter. Let's hear from someone who carries these stories in their heart.
Elder Johnson, from the Lakota Nation, shares this perspective. Our history, it isn't just in books.
It's in the land, in the wind.
When they moved our people, they tried to sever that connection. They put us on reservations, small parcels of what was once ours. They thought they could contain us, our spirit. But our spirit is tied to this continent.
It's older than any border, any reservation fence. They tried to take our language, our ceremonies, our way of life.
But a fire that has burned for thousands of years is not so easily extinguished.
It burns in our songs, in our stories, in the eyes of our children. A reservation system was designed to control and assimilate.
Confined to often barren lands, native communities faced immense poverty, lack of opportunity, and a continuous assault on their sovereignty. Federal policies like the Dawes Act broke up communal tribal lands into individual plots, a direct attack on the collective nature of native societies, leading to the loss of millions more acres of tribal territory. It was a strategy of divide and conquer, aimed at dismantling tribal governance and identity.
Life on the reservation became a daily struggle for survival, a fight to hold onto a cultural core while being systematically disenfranchised.
By the early 20th century, the situation was dire.
Native Americans were not even considered U.S. citizens. But from the ashes of these policies, a new fire began to burn, the fire of resistance and activism.
In 1924, the Indian Citizenship Act was a landmark moment, finally granting citizenship to all Native Americans born in the United States.
Yet, this was just one step on a very long road. It didn't automatically grant the right to vote, which many states continue to deny for decades. It was a paper victory that needed to be fought for, state by state, county by county. The mid-20th century saw the rise of a powerful new movement.
Organizations like the National Congress of American Indians were formed, uniting tribes to advocate for their rights on a national level.
Then, the Red Power movement of the 1960s and 70s burst onto the scene, demanding self-determination and respect. The occupation of Alcatraz Island in 1969 was a watershed moment.
It wasn't just a protest. It was a bold declaration to the world that native people were still here, their spirit unbroken.
They claimed the island by right of discovery, using the colonizers' own logic against them, and created a symbol of indigenous resilience that captured global attention.
Elder Willow, a storyteller from the Ojibwe Nation, remembers this time well. When our young people went to Alcatraz, it was like a great drumbeat was heard across the land.
For so long, we had been invisible.
People thought of us as characters in old movies.
But here we were, on the evening news, telling our own story.
We weren't asking for permission anymore.
We were demanding what was rightfully ours, our land, our culture, our sovereignty.
It was a scary time, but it was also a time of immense pride.
We were showing the world and ourselves that we would not be erased. This activism led to real, tangible change. The Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act of 1975 was a monumental victory. It shifted federal policy away from assimilation and toward tribal self-governance.
For the first time in generations, Tribes were given control over their own affairs, their schools, their healthcare, and their resources. It was a recognition that native nations knew best how to govern themselves and care for their own people.
This was the dawn of a new era of sovereignty, empowering communities to rebuild and heal from centuries of trauma.
This fight for sovereignty and environmental protection continues with fierce determination today. We all saw it at Standing Rock.
The Dakota Access Pipeline protest became a global symbol of modern Indigenous resistance.
Thousands of people from hundreds of tribes, along with allies from all walks of life, gathered in prayer and peaceful protest to protect the water and sacred burial sites of the Standing Rock's tribe. It wasn't just about a pipeline.
It was about the fundamental right of a sovereign nation to protect its resources and its cultural heritage.
It was a powerful echo of all the battles that came before.
The fight is far from over. Native communities still face incredible challenges, from economic disparities to the ongoing struggle to protect sacred lands and treaty rights. But the story of Native Americans in the 20th century and beyond is not just one of struggle.
It is a profound story of triumph. It's a story of cultural survival against impossible odds, of spiritual resilience, and of an unyielding fight for justice. From the ancient mound builders to the water protectors at Standing Rock, it is a testament to the enduring power of people deeply connected to their land, their history, and their future. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to learn more.